Is Max Verstappen beyond following team orders? If the events of the Spanish Grand Prix were any indication, many would think that he is. In today's video, we'll take a look at the power struggle brewing at Red Bull. Plus, Helmut Marko spills the beans on the team's back and forth with Ferrari that almost lost him his very own team principal, Christian Horner. Keep watching because we've got the inside scoop for you. Christian Horner didn't seem too concerned about Max Verstappen potentially facing a penalty at the Spanish Grand Prix, but he acknowledged the need for a conversation about it. The way Verstappen outperformed the rest of the Formula One competitors was undeniable yet again. Starting from pole position in Barcelona, he effortlessly cruised towards a victory that was never in question. Verstappen, being the fiercely competitive driver that he is, wanted it all. Even though the victory and the 25 points seemed secure unless something extraordinary happened, there was still an additional point up for grabs for the fastest lap, and naturally, Verstappen was determined to get it. However, there was a slight hiccup. He had already received the black and white flag for exceeding track limits, and his engineer, Gianpiero Lambiase, had alerted him about it over the radio. One more infraction like that, and he would have faced a 5-second time penalty. In the grand scheme of things, the potential penalty wouldn't have had a significant impact. However, if a safety car had closed up the field, it could have jeopardized Verstappen's chances of winning. Nonetheless, Verstappen defied the instructions to hold back. When asked about the fastest lap, which was initially held by Sergio at that moment, Verstappen was advised to ease off and cruise towards the finish line. However, the Dutch driver chose to go against the instructions and instead widened his lead by delivering a flawless qualifying-like lap, ultimately setting the fastest lap of the entire race. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner was questioned about this by Nico Rosberg during the post-race interview on Sky Sports, to which he replied, "He and his engineer have a relationship like an old married couple. You could hear them talking over the radio, almost like arguing over which channel shall we watch. Having had 3 strikes, the next one was a time penalty, and if there was a safety car or something like that, that could have been extremely painful. The engineer is trying to manage Max and say, don't take any risks, bring it home and keep it between the lines. Max, I think he wasn't aware he was exceeding the limits, and he just wanted that extra point for the fastest lap." Following Rosberg's inquiry about Horner's intention to have a conversation with Verstappen regarding his apparent disregard for the team's instructions, the team principal downplayed the gravity of the situation, but acknowledged the likelihood of addressing the matter. Horner further stated that he's in the car and he knows. Of course, we'll talk about it. In a situation where there was more to lose than that, we'd talk about it very firmly. All we can do is pass on the information, and what he chooses to do with that information, he's in control of that. Helmut Marko, Red Bull advisor, also shared his thoughts on Verstappen's act of defiance. Speaking to Sky Sports F1, he said, "We didn't want Max to set the fastest lap, but you can't stop that. He already had 3 warnings for exceeding track limits. You shouldn't risk anything in such a situation, but you can't be angry with him for that." Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, has openly admitted that Max Verstappen of Red Bull is operating at an exceptional level in the world of Formula One. Verstappen has displayed utter dominance throughout the current season, emerging victorious in all but 2 races, resulting in a commanding 53-point lead over his teammate Sergio Perez in the battle for the championship. Verstappen's remarkable performance was evident as he effortlessly secured pole position with a remarkable margin of over 0.4 of a second in just 1 lap during Q3. In the race, he went on to clinch a comfortable 26-second victory over Lewis Hamilton. So far this season, Red Bull has enjoyed unrivaled success, securing victories without facing any significant challenges. However, Mercedes appears to have made progress with its W14 upgrades, as Toto Wolff suggests that Lewis Hamilton should have been competing against his former rival on the front row of the grid instead of qualifying as the 5th fastest. When questioned about the gap between Mercedes and Red Bull after implementing the upgrades, Wolff addressed the media by saying, "I would love to give an answer, but I simply don't know. Verstappen is just on a different level. It pisses me off to say that, but that is the reality. It is a meritocracy. They have done the best job. The driver is excellent, and they are just far away. This is something only we have in our hands to get under control." It has been reported that Ferrari has been trying to poach key Red Bull players in recent times, and Helmut Marko has shed some light on what has been going on behind the scenes. In a surprising turn of events, Marco has openly acknowledged that Ferrari made an attempt to lure away both Adrian Newey and Christian Horner, who were dangerously close to departing from the team, with offers tempting enough to entice them. Marco acknowledges that enticing offers were made to Newey and Horner, including substantially higher salaries that amounted to costing Red Bull millions of dollars. He further revealed that it took a last-minute change of heart to persuade Newey to consider signing with Ferrari, just a night before he was scheduled to do so. Marco shared these insights during an interview with the Swiss newspaper Blick. Luca di Montezemolo was already cheering in the paddock and wanted to announce the deal, but during the night we were able to change Newey's mind. It took me another whole night to convince Horner to stay at Red Bull, and it cost us millions more. Newey has revealed that he had come remarkably close to signing with Scuderia Ferrari on 3 separate occasions throughout his illustrious career. The first offer was to join as the chief designer for an IndyCar project, which he ultimately declined. In 1996, Ferrari approached him again, presenting an offer that required careful consideration. However, Newey declined this opportunity as he prioritised staying in the UK to be near his young family. The Italians made a comeback in 2014, tempting the renowned designer with promises of a film star lifestyle and an exceedingly generous financial proposal. Newey has previously disclosed that the deal would have effectively doubled his existing salary at Red Bull, sharing these details in an interview with Sky Sports F1. I was very tempted to go there, Ferrari, in the past. It's a legendary brand. They contacted me in 1993, I think, and then in 1997 when I went from Williams to McLaren, and that was a very difficult choice. At the time, my children were very young and I didn't want them to change schools. If I had gone to Ferrari, I would have had to move to Italy, and it would have been complicated. This has had an impact. I was in a bit of a difficult position. I didn't want to walk out of Red Bull because it feels like home, and I'd been heavily involved from the start with Christian, building the team up from the ashes of Jaguar to where it was today. I didn't want to walk out on that, but equally, I didn't want to be in a position where we were operating with one hand tied behind our back in the engine department. It was a very difficult decision. Ferrari came up with an incredible offer, very attractive, and it caused me a lot of sleepless nights deciding what to do and who to go for. In the end, it would have felt wrong to walk out on Red Bull. Do you think Max was wrong to go against team orders, or did he earn the right to race under his own terms? Tell us what you think about it in the comments section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.